You've got yours nice and neatly over there.
Morning, church. How we doing? Are we alright?
Yeah.
It's good to see so many out. I thought it might have been me and a couple of folks, you know. But God's good, isn't He?
Yes.
And He's good through any circumstance. He's good through every storm. So it's a privilege today to come and just praise Him. I've done what I never do. I've changed a lot of this morning. Really, I've changed the songs of these guys. I've changed what I'm saying. I've changed a lot of stuff because it is really, I don't know. I'm feeling moved by the situation. You know, there was a conference in here yesterday, and they were singing 10,000 Reasons. And like I quite like that song. I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite songs, you know, but I like it, it's alright. But just mega impacted me yesterday when they're singing Sing Like Never Before. And I think we're faced with a situation that we've never ever had before in this nation. Or I've never had, certainly in my lifetime, I've never had it before. And so for me, when we're faced with something we've never been faced with before, we should talk to God more. We should sing like never before, we should come to God like never before. So I just want to do that today. Hello to the people watching online, give them all a shout. Some of it didn't work, so some of it's watching on my phone, but that's okay. Like, let's stand and we'll worship together. Sorry we're a few minutes late getting started for those online, but that's how it is. God, we thank you for being here today. We thank you that in all circumstances, in all situations, we can be people of faith. We can stand strong in our faith, God, because our faith and our hope is in you. God, you're bigger than every situation we're going to face. You're more powerful than anything that could ever come against us. And God, we just give you praise today. We just lift your name up today. What a privilege it is. And as we're faced with the prospect of not being allowed to meet in groups, we realise the privilege it is to gather and to worship you. Help us, God, to really grasp the full extent of how awesome this is today, to be standing in your presence and lifting your name up as family and friends. God, would you be with us today? God, would you flood this place with your presence? God, would you flood this place with the power of the Holy Spirit, God, and draw us close to you this morning. Speak to us, change us, transform us, minister into our lives. God, have your will done in this place today, we pray. Amen. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name, sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. Do you believe, church, that Jesus is bigger than any circumstance?
Yes.
Do you believe that God is bigger than anything we would ever face?
Yes.
Let's declare it, come on. Doesn't matter what trials we face. Doesn't matter what things look like. It doesn't matter what's happening around about us. For Christians today, we know that through all things, and above all things, beyond all things, that God is good. Do you know that?
Yes.
Believe that. No matter what, God is good. Let's sing it.
Amazing love that welcomes me, the kindness of mercy that bought with blood, wholeheartedly, my soul undeserving.
fear at the moment, innit? People are out stealing all the toilet rolls. Aye, I know. Please leave Wales in the church today when you leave. We serve a God who makes a way for us and there doesn't seem to be another. You know that? Like even if, you know, everything's going nuts, God has got a path for us to walk on. I believe it's a safe path. I believe it's a path of faith. We serve a God of miracles. And sometimes in amongst everything that's going on, like I don't know, maybe we could struggle to see God doing it, maybe we don't see it, maybe we don't feel it, but He is at work in this whole situation. By the way, God is at work. Do you know that? Do you believe that? So what's going on right now in the country? God is at work. There are people watching live streams today that have never been in a church before. There are people hearing the gospel today that have never heard the gospel before. God is at work. There are people thinking about their eternity that have never thought about it before. God is at work. I believe that. We serve a miracle working God. We serve a God that makes a way through the most difficult situations. I think it's cracking quality. And then it's
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this world. I worship you. never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop
salvation. We thank you that we can stand here and be full of faith. We thank you that we don't need to stand here in fear, because we serve the Almighty God. We serve the only true God. God, we just thank you for your love. God, we just thank you for your goodness. We thank you, God, that you will make a way. But that way is only found in you. God, I pray for someone here today that doesn't know you. And for someone listening online that doesn't know you. God, at the end of this service, that would be a different scenario. God, we need you. We always need you. But today we need you like never before. God, would you have your will done in this place today, we pray. Amen. Amen.
What a week, eh? How we doing?
Okay.
Normally at this time I share announcements, but I've no idea what tomorrow's going to bring, so I don't have any. What I'm going to do though, because we're using Facebook and that phone, I think it might shut off after an hour. So if you excuse me, I'm going to address the Facebook people. Is that alright? Hello! I'm turning you off, but I'm turning you back on. Hold on. Right. Let's make sure this is working. Right, there we go. Well, that's cool. Lots of people watching us online. Brilliant. We're back on live. Give them all a shout, people. Hopefully it's working on YouTube. It's very different, isn't it? Guys, I'm going to do something I've never done before. I've never, ever in my, not that I've been a pastor for that long, 18 months, but I've never ever last minute changed what I was going to say. And I've also never actually preached into a situation before. So, if you're a guest with us today, by the way, you're really welcome. Hello. It's lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. We teach through books of the Bible here, really, because I'm really conscious that I don't want to preach what I think or what I want to preach. I want God to speak to us, and I want us as a church to understand the Bible properly. So generally speaking, we start at the start of a book and we preach it till we're finished it. And that's just what we do. And I make no apology for that. I don't come up with like cool, funky titles, because I think the Bible says it all. And I think the Word of God is sufficient for everything, and so that's what we do. But, so, I was supposed to be preaching in Acts 2 this week, which is one of the most, for me, significant chapters in the entirety of Scripture. It's the launch of the church. It's the point where the Holy Spirit came down. It talks about tongues. It talks about all sorts of really deep, divisive things. Shouldn't be division, but there is sometimes. And obviously, like as well, we've been trying to sort out all this technical stuff, and it's been a really tough week, by the way. You know, my computer fried, as you know. I only got it back on Friday, and then there was a conference cancelled in last minute. We said we'd help them, so there was a conference here all day yesterday. I was trying to help with that, and things just kept going wrong, and things kept stealing my time. And I was chatting with Ernie yesterday. Dale was great when he came in. I think he seen I was not doing too well. And he came in and he prayed with me. And he left the room and God said, don't preach an Acts 2 tomorrow. So, okay. So I'm not going to. I'm going to preach in Psalm 91 today. So then I tried to pull this work together in less time than I normally do. And things just kept going wrong. My dad got rushed back into hospital last night. And he's there just now. And I've just had a tough week, you know. But I think everybody's had a tough week. And I think everyone's struggling. I think everyone's going through stuff that we've never been through before. And people think, for some bizarre reason to me, that the Bible is not relevant anymore. You couldn't be more wrong, if that's what you think. There is not a situation in this life that we will face that the Bible doesn't tackle head on. Not like in a roundabout way. Not you can make it fit any situation. That we will come against as people of God, that the Bible doesn't tackle head on. No matter how difficult the situation, the Bible deals with it. And I believe the Bible deals with the situation that we as a nation are going through right now, head on. And we're going to look at that today. Now, the Bible doesn't pull any punches, by the way. The Bible doesn't sugarcoat things in the way that we sugarcoat things. The Bible tells you the truth. The Bible tells you the facts. And they are what they are. And I make absolutely zero apology for them. And I'm not going to. So I'm going to try and go through this passage. I ain't preached it before. Don't really know what I'm going to say. But God knows what I'm going to say. And actually it's not me He needs to talk to anyway. It's God that needs to talk to us right now as we go through what we're going through. Is that cool? Yeah? Can we pray? God, as we open your word together, God, I just pray that you would impact our lives. We should never open this book without it impacting our lives. We should never read this book without being challenged. This book is life. And God, I pray today that you would speak into our lives through it. God, I pray today that you would speak through me powerfully. As always, I pray that it's not my words that people hear, God, but it is yours. It's not me that people see, but it is you. God, I believe you have a specific word to this church today. And Father, I just pray that I don't get in your way. And that the word comes through despite my weakness and failings and tiredness and all these things. So God, I just empty myself, ask you to use me today, ask you to speak to these people in power. Transform us, empower us, build us up, encourage us, all these things, God, according to your will. We pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. I'm going to read through the chapter, and then I'm just going to try and tackle wee bits of it. I've no idea how long I'll be for today. Right? Might be good, it might be 10 minutes, it might be 10 hours. Probably 10 hours. Right? Let's see. Right. Psalm 91, if you have a Bible, open it. Could we get it up on the screen? Is that okay? I normally make a PowerPoint for the guys at the back, so sorry to land this at the last minute. But, and I'm reading from the ESV. I don't know if you're able to choose versions at the back or not, because I normally do it. If you're not, that's okay. You can follow along in the NIV, that's alright. Is it coming? Here we go. It says, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge, no evil shall be allowed to befall you, no plague come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against the stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent, you will trample underfoot. And then it changes, and this is a word from God at the end. Because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him, because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honour him with long life. I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Amen. Relevant, eh? Relevant. Bit more pressure to me today, by the way. I need to say hello to what was one of my Bible college lecturers being recorded at the back. Stephen, how you doing? Stephen's one of the best preachers that I know, so you can get some constructive stuff at the end. That's just cutting in and out of big batteries. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, verse 1, let's just go through this verse. It says, he who dwells. So right here at the start of the psalm, the psalmist is telling us who this psalm is for. So some of the psalms, the psalms are a wonderful book. Some psalms tell us who they're written by and some psalms don't. This psalm doesn't tell us who it's written by, but it's probably more widely thought that Moses wrote this psalm, although it's not conclusive, we don't 100% know, but probably it was Moses who wrote this psalm. And a lot of psalms are just praises to God. They're wonderful things to read. A lot of the psalms are really, I suppose, a blessing for everybody that would read them, an encouragement for everybody that would read them. This psalm is for specific people. This psalm is not for everybody. This psalm will not even be for everybody in this room right now. But it can be for everybody, by the way, by the time you leave. It can be for everyone listening online by the time I'm finished with it. But right now, it's not for everyone, it's for the person who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. Now, dwell means to sit down, means to stay. It's a permanent position. Dwelling isn't a sporadic thing. Dwelling isn't a sometimes. Dwelling isn't a visit. Dwelling isn't even running to God in times of trouble. Dwelling is a permanent position. To stay in the shelter of the Most High. That's who this psalm is for. Now, we all know what a shelter is, right? A shelter keeps us safe from rain, from wind, from snow, from... I was in Togo recently. Shelter kept me safe for the heat. It was horrific. But the shelter kept me safe. Now, the Bible doesn't hold any punches, that's what I'm saying. People can preach the Bible and tell you that if we believe in Jesus, ain't nothing bad ever going to happen to us. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible tells us that whether we're Christians or whether or not, we're going to go through some situations, and it says that in many different places. But you don't need a shelter if there's nothing that we need sheltered from. What do we need God to be our shelter for if there's not any issues coming against us? Does that make sense? The fact that we're told that he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High tells us that we need shelter. It tells us that we will go through situations. It tells us that bad stuff's going to happen. And there's some pretty bad stuff happening right now. Like there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of terror. There's a lot of decisions getting made. There's a lot of panic. God doesn't give us a spirit of fear. Praise God. He gives us shelter. He gives us shelter from the troubles. If, and only if, we dwell in him. So this psalm is for people who dwell in the presence of God. So it says, he dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Now abide, again it's talking permanence. Abide means to remain in. So it says if we choose God as our refuge, if we accept the refuge of God, we will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Like I said, I was in Togo recently and man, it was hot over there. It was hot over there. And I remember a time I went to Rome in August and it was absolutely beasting hot. I stepped out the plane, I'd never been in a hot country before. I could literally hardly breathe. Like I'd never felt warm air from Scotland going into my lungs before. And this warm air, and I'm like, I'm going to die. I can't cope with this. It was like immense heat. And it was battering down on you like all day long. It's relentless, right? It's relentless. And if you don't get a shelter from it, you ain't going to actually even survive. Like there's a reason why in countries like Spain they have a siesta in the middle of the day, everybody get out in the sun, because you can't survive with the heat beating on you all the time. And he's kind of like our troubles. We ain't going to survive with the weight of the world battering and beating down on us all the time. But this tells us that if we dwell in the shelter of the Most High, then we'll abide in the shadow of the Almighty. We will remain in God's shadow. He'll shield us from that stuff. Like when I sat in like this wooden shack in Togo, getting some shadow to keep me cool. The heat in Togo was still the same heat, but I was protected from it. It didn't affect me. It affected the people on the beach. It didn't affect me because I'm in the shadow. The shadow protects from too much heat, from too much pressure. And the shadow of God that we abide in, if we have him as a shelter, will protect us from all sorts of stuff. All the stuff that's going on just now, I believe God can shelter us from that. Why do I believe it? Because the Bible says it. I believe this book in its entirety. I believe it 100%. It's authentic. I love it. And it tells us that if we dwell in the shelter of the Most High God, we'll abide, we'll remain in the shadow of the Almighty. And see, for Christians today, that one verse right there, that should be your character. That should sum up our lives. That should sum up who we are. People that dwell in the presence of God. Not people who come to God and ask him for something when we need it. Not people that run to God and remember him when we're in trouble. But people that live their lives dwelling with God through the good situations, through the bad situations, through the scary situations, through the fun situations. We should never ever leave the presence of God. If we're Christians, we shouldn't. That's what this verse is saying to. We just sang it. Sometimes like we might not feel God working, we might not see it. But this verse tells us that God's protection is real. This God tells us that the protection of God is something that we can live under, we can abide in 24 hours a day, no matter what the world would throw at us. It's really important that we get that as a Christian. I was reading some commentaries on this verse last night, and somebody had pointed out, and I know we're not in America, right? Somebody pointed out this was the 911 verse. Psalm 91 verse 1. What's 911? It's a number you call when you're in trouble, isn't it? So like God gives us a 911. We don't need the ambulance, we don't need the We don't need all that stuff. We need Jesus. Jesus is our greatest need. God is our greatest need. To dwell in the protection of God is the greatest need that any human can have. And most of our world isn't living in it. That's why they're freaking out. But we are not called to freak out. We are not called to panic. We are called to be strong and hold firm in our faith, because God is real, because Jesus is alive, and because we are able to dwell and abide in His shadow and shelter. It's incredible, isn't it? I could preach in that one verse for a week, but I'm going to move on, right? It says, verse 2, I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. My refuge and my fortress. What's a refuge? It's a safe place for people in trouble. It's a place where the trouble that's been coming after people can't get to them anymore. I've got a friend of mine who leads like a women's refuge, and when women have been getting despicably treated by men, they take these women in, and the men can't get to them anymore. There's a protection around them. So when we think about refuge, when we think about God being our refuge, He can literally stop things even coming against us. He covers us from it. Again, to those who dwell in Him. It talks about a fortress. Maybe last year we taught the book of Joshua from start to finish, because that's what we do. And we heard about these fortresses. You're talking a fortress, you're talking like this big, massive, walled city. Impenetrable walls. And as we know from the book of Joshua, the only thing that was able to penetrate these walls was God. You ain't going to penetrate God's wall. It's saying if we dwell in Him, if we abide in Him, He's a fortress around us. It's like every single one of us has got our own individual, massive big wall around about us, and nothing's going to get through it. And we've got nothing to fear, because nothing can come at us. Has anyone here seen Lord of the Rings? I love Lord of the Rings, probably my most favourite movie, right? But the second one, they've got what they call the Battle of Helm's Deep. You know what I'm talking about? And you'll actually see like this big wall, and it had one little weakness in it, right? But just an avalanche of these horrible looking creatures battling down in this wall. And if not for the weakness, there's just no way they would ever have penetrated it. You know what I'm talking about? So imagine a fortress like that, without a weakness. That's what we have if we have Jesus Christ in our life and we abide in Him and we dwell in Him. Is this making sense? Yeah. It's solid. Nothing's coming through it. We've got nothing to fear. We're going to be perfectly okay. And like this is talking like about military stuff. This is military grade fortresses around us, protecting us from all things. God is our refuge and our fortress, and I love this. It says, my God in whom I trust. This is personal. This is personal. This isn't me talking about like us all plurally. God belongs to me. And if you put your trust in Him, He belongs to you. He will protect you. Other people's beliefs, other people's panics, how other people deal with situations is entirely irrelevant. God will put His fortress around you. So even if everyone else around about me is getting knocked out for 6 all over the shop, I ain't going to be, because He's my God. And He's got His fortress around me. And I'm going to trust in Him. And trust talks about security. And now, trust is hard when things like this are going on, isn't it? We're trying to trust the things that our government are telling us, whilst like the Facebook police are telling us something different. And all these amateur scientists are posting things that came for this mad clever person and that mad clever, and we don't know where it came from, we don't know who made it up. The conspiracy theories started coming out yesterday. This is the 5G network getting turned on, and they're calling it coronavirus just to scare us all. But really it's about profit, and it's about money, and it's this mobile signal that's going through all of our lives and taking all our breath away. And you're thinking, for goodness sake, people, shut up. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're looking for any answer, but people aren't looking to God, and that's where they're going wrong. That's where they're making their mistakes. We might not be able to trust, sadly, in our government. We will certainly not be able to trust the press, and even less so will we be able to trust in Facebook or Instagram or whatever else people are on these days, I don't know. But we can trust in the Lord. Through every situation, we can trust in God. It says, God will deliver us from the snare of the fowler. Now, just to explain, fowler's talking about, like, you know that birds are called fowl? Did you know that? People that go like bird hunting go fowl hunting. And they set these traps to catch the birds so they can eat them. Now, Satan plants traps for us. Did you know that? What this is saying is, God will deliver us from the traps that Satan has placed before us to trip us up and to bring us down and to cause us grief and to steal our joy and to steal our faith and to steal our hope and to steal our life. God can deliver us from that. And do you know what else He can deliver us from? He can deliver us from the deadly pestilence. Now, in case you don't know what deadly pestilence means, it directly, exactly, legitimately means epidemic. That's what it means. That's not like, it's kind of like this. It means epidemic. People think the Bible ain't relevant. The Bible's got everything. It says He will deliver us. We will not be troubled by. We will not be caught out by. We will not be ruined by an epidemic. That's what the Bible says. You see how we're going? We shouldn't be living lives of fear. We should be living lives of truth and hope based on what this book says. Seriously, we should. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be wise, by the way. We need to be wise. But we should be living lives of faith and hope. 100%. I'm going to come back to the deadly pestilence in a little bit. It says, He will cover you with His pinions, and under His wings you will find refuge. The pinions is just talking about, like, again, it's using like the bird analogy. You imagine like this big chicken, right? And it has its little chicks, and like there's some troubles coming, it just puts its wings on you. Like maybe not getting to my kids. Have you ever walked past a swan that has like little cygnets under its wing? They get pure as that. I ain't going anywhere near that swan. How much more powerful is God than a swan? Right, that's what God's saying. I'm going to have my wings round you. I'm going to have my pinions round you. You're going to be so safe. Nothing's going to come near me. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Satan, evil, pain, sickness, disaster. None of it can come against God. None of it. God's more powerful than any of it. And if we're under His wings, none of it's going to come against us either. Doesn't matter what anybody says. Doesn't matter how fearful anyone else gets. It ain't going to come against us. So it says He'll cover us with His pinions, and under His wings we will find refuge. There's that word refuge again. Nothing's coming against us. It says His faithfulness, because God is faithful. Do you believe that? Yeah. God is faithful. His faithfulness is a shield and a buckler. So it's talking, it's like double protection, right? Again, we're back to military kind of visions, if you like, again. God's got this big, massive shield that is shielding those who dwell in Him, shielding those who abide in Him from the stuff that's coming against them. And He's saying, by the way, nothing can ever come against the shield of God. But He's saying more than that, like, just to make you doubly sure, people of Home Church, that you can trust me. I've got a buckler as well. Like behind the shield, I've got another layer of protection. He's telling us we're fully protected from anything. It says we will not fear the terror of the night. Who's seen people in terror this week? I can't believe it. I went to the shops to try and buy some stuff and it's all gone. It's all gone. I found this, see, we got this little, so like we went, all the long life milk was like gone, right? Because I can speak Polish, I went to the Polish section and none of their long life milk had been touched because nobody knew where it was. Right? So I got loads of that stuff. It's brilliant. So, like, if you need a cup of tea when all this goes dark, I'm your daddy, right? Just come to my house, we'll be okay. But it says we will not fear the terror of the night. So all the terror that's going on around about us, if we abide in God, we don't have to fear it. It doesn't have anything against us. It says we don't have to fear terror, like, nor the arrow that flies by day. So it doesn't matter whether it's terror, it doesn't matter whether it's an attack, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. If we abide in God, we have got absolutely nothing to fear, because His faithfulness is a shield and buckler to save us from that. And then it goes on to say, nor do we have to fear the pestilence that stalks in darkness. Now, this is where I might get a bit controversial. Nor do we need to fear the epidemic that stalks in darkness. To me, this is quite clearly talking about epidemics work in darkness, and like, we believe in the spiritual realm. I believe in good, I believe in evil, I believe in light, I believe in darkness. The sad fact of the matter is, people, that we have badly sinned against the Lord as a nation. Badly. We've turned away from God. We've told Him we don't want Him. We've told Him we don't need Him. We've told Him He's not welcome. And therefore we live in a country, we live in a world that doesn't belong to God, really. It belongs to Satan. That's the truth. Some people freaking out online, what's this guy talking about? That's the truth. These things that are going on, these epidemics, they are not God's doing, by the way. People say, you'll hear it said a lot over the next few weeks, if God is such a loving God, why has He allowed this to happen? Let me tell you emphatically and clearly, this nonsense is not happening because of God. This nonsense is happening because we turned away from Him. This nonsense is happening because we've sinned, and because you can't push God out your schools, push God out your hospitals, push God out your country, push God out your family, push God out your life, and then when everything goes wrong, say, God, what are you doing? God's got nothing to do with it. And by the way, do you know what's made me really, really angry this week? Is these imbeciles in Facebook from America, and I've seen some for the UK as well, and they're saying that this God's doing this because of the LGBT community. It's an absolute disgrace. We're sinners as well. It's not the LGBT community that have done this. It's churches in Scotland that don't preach the gospel anymore. It's churches that don't believe in the power of Jesus anymore. It's churches that don't believe in the Trinity. It's people that don't preach this book or don't live by this book. It's people in churches all over the nation sitting in pews, and all they to do is polish the pews with their backside because they're not listening to a thing. That's the truth. How dare we blame it in a community when we're the ones that have walked away from God? It's a disgrace. It's not loving, and it's not right, and it's not appropriate, and it shouldn't be allowed to be said. We have walked away from God as a nation. We've, to be honest, on a vast percentage of things, have walked away from God as a church. Sorry to say that, but it's the truth. There are still some churches who preach the Bible faithfully, but there are many who don't. What right do we have to blame it on anybody? We need to be looking at ourselves. What are we doing that people don't see? How are we living our lives in ways that are not pleasing to God? We need to look to ourselves. This country has turned away from the God, and that is why this epidemic that stalks in darkness is bringing destruction. And I'll tell you, the only way it will stop is if we turn back to God. By the way, Donald Trump today, only really not a fan of Donald Trump, right? But National Day of Prayer in America today, quite right, eh? Yeah. Where's ours? What's our government doing? They're just standing up saying, oh yeah man, people are going to die, sorry about that. And that's it. Where's the hope? Where's the future in that? It's nowhere. We need to be turning back to God. We need to be fully putting our lives into His hands. But here's the thing. Sorry to go off on one there, right? These things, pestilence that stalks in darkness, that's going to get at people. It's going to get to people in the church. It's going to get to people in our families. It's going to get to people. But it is not going to get to him who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. We don't need to fear it. It doesn't have a hold on us at all. So because of His faithfulness, because He's a shield and a buckler for us, we don't need to fear the terror of the night. We don't need to fear the attacks, the arrows that fly by day. We don't need to fear the epidemic that stalks in darkness. And we don't need to fear the destruction that waits at noonday. We will not be defeated by this church. It will not lead to our destruction if, and only if we, as individuals, every single one of us dwell in God. Alright? Yes. It says, 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. I love it. God's not telling us He will remove us from dangerous situations. He's not telling us like He'll pick us out and take us away from it all. He's saying people are going to be falling down beside you. 10,000 people going to be falling down. It's going to be all around us like we're seeing at the moment. Everybody's panicking. We're not removed from it, but we're not affected by it either. It says 10,000 at your right hand, 1,000 may fall at your side, but it will not come near you. We can have a safety from this whole stuff. We can find security in all of this stuff. It says you will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. The recompense. This and everything else that's going wrong in the world is because we've chose wickedness over righteousness. It's because we've chosen darkness over light. It's because we've not went for Jesus really. But it says you're going to see stuff happening and you'll see it happening, but it's not going to come against you if you dwell in the shelter of the Lord. I love it. And again, it's telling us, it's reminding us, why is this the case? How can we be saved? How can we get these promises that the Bible's talking about here? It says, you're saved from all of this stuff because you have made the Lord your dwelling place. This only applies to those people who have made the Lord their dwelling place. The Most High, who is my refuge, no evil shall be allowed to befall you, and no plague will come near your tent. Now I love that. This isn't just talking about life. This is talking about like even what we have, our tent, our dwelling place, like my home. Do you know what I mean? So I think about like my family, I think about my possessions, I think about my business, that technically in real terms should be under threat because of what's going on, but in Jesus' name it isn't going to be, right? Because I'm dwelling in Him, I know He's going to lead me through it. But no evil shall be allowed to befall you, and no plague can even come near your tent. No plague will come near your home. No plague will come near your marriage. No plague will come near your family. No plague will come near your even financial security, I believe, if and only if we dwell in the shelter of the Most High. It says, for He will command His angels concerning you. The angels are able and have been sent to guard us in all our ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against the stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent. You will trample underfoot. We're going to be given protection. We're going to be given power beyond our means to be able to deal with this thing. And again, here's the promise from God. Here's the reason why. Here's how, through this entire situation, an entire country of panic, we can have faith and we can stand strong, because he who holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. Now remember, I think I spoke in it last week, if we love God, what will we do? We will follow his commands. I'm not talking about some little feeling in your heart, oh, I love you, Jesus. Do you really love him? Are you willing to follow him? Are you willing to follow his commands? Because if we love him, if we hold fast to him in love, if we obey his commands, if we trust him, if we ask him to lead us through our life, then he will deliver us. He will protect us. As God says, I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. How much prayer are we doing about this? That's a biggie as well. See, Christians, we know that our first response should be to pray, but it's often our last response. We often come to be honest, we can come with prayers after it's far too late. The damage is done and we've not came to God, and it's all went ahead and ruined us anyway. We need to call to God. God answers prayer. God hears our prayers. God loves us. And if we call to him, he'll answer us. We had a cracking prayer meeting in here on Thursday night. 30 people or something. It's praying about this. It's brilliant. Prayer needs to be our first response. If you're here today, you're worried about your job, you're worried about your family, you're worried about your health, you're worried about these things, you need to call out to God. You have to pray. You have to make that decision to abide in him. As God says, I will be with him in trouble, I will rescue him and honour him, and with long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Some people need to know, maybe listening online, maybe in this room today, that the length of our life is entirely in the hands of God. Entirely. See if we abide in God, see if we dwell in his house, see if we really, really, truly trusted God, we wouldn't be fearful of death one little bit. We wouldn't be fearful of our timers. We all talk about, I believe, my days are numbered by God. I believe that. God knew when I was born, when I was getting promoted to heaven. And he still knows when I'm getting promoted to heaven. And it's not for me to know, it's for him to know. But if we either believe our lives in God's hands or we don't. We either believe in God's timing or we don't. We either believe that we're saved or we don't. And if we believe that we're saved, I will show him my salvation. If we believe that we're saved, what are we worrying about anyway? Because what's to come is far greater than what's happening right now. Says that, I can't remember where the actually says that in the New Testament. What's to come is far greater than what you've got now. Like, what are we worried about? What are we freaking out about? God's in control. Do you believe God's in control? Yes. So we don't need to be getting swayed by public opinion and getting swayed by the scaremongering or getting swayed with any of it. The only thing today that you have to concern yourself with, if you're in this room or you're listening online, is, are you saved? That's your only concern. Nothing else matters. What matters is, do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe that Jesus Christ lived, died and rose again for our sins? I believe it. Yeah. I believe it. So I know at the end of my days, whenever it is, I might be 88 years old, it might be tomorrow, it might be today. It doesn't matter, because I'm saved by the love of Jesus Christ. I'm saved because Jesus Christ died for me on the cross. And I'm going to, at the end of my days, I'm getting a promotion, man. It ain't the end. It ain't the worst. I'm getting promoted to what, as a Christian, I've been living my entire life for. So what am I freaking out about? The only question is, are you saved? Is Jesus Christ your Lord and Saviour? Do you have the confidence that I've got? Do you have the security that I've got? If you don't, I don't know how you're coping. Again, there's incredible promises in this chapter. Incredible promises. But they're not even for those that believe in God. They're not even for those who know that we run to God when the going gets tough. They're for those who dwell in the shelter of the Most High. Now, it's possible to believe in Jesus, and therefore, by the way, believe in Jesus or you will be saved, right? It's possible to be saved. It's possible to be going to heaven at the end of our life here, but not have the protection of this Son. This is like an additional thing. This is like over and above salvation, I believe that's what it says, isn't it? Because you can believe in Jesus and not dwell in Him. You can run to Jesus and not dwell in Him. You can turn to Him and not dwell in Him. There's incredible promises in this chapter. I want to ask you today to look into your heart and answer the question honestly in your head. Do you know for certain that you've got this? Not do you think you do, not what you like to have, not do you know to run to Jesus when there's trouble. Do you know for certain that you've got this? That's what I'm talking about today. I believe God can save us from all of it. To be honest with you, if it does take our life and takes us to heaven, we've been saved from it anyway. Don't really care. I don't care how God fulfills these promises. I just know that He's got it. I don't need to concern myself as to why. Do you know for certain today, listening online, in the room, that these promises are for you? Do you abide in God? And honestly, there's a whole lot of people in a whole lot of churches, including this one, who do not abide in God. They believe in Him, they trust Him, they like Him, they might love Him a bit. Doesn't mean you dwell in Him. Do you dwell in God? Do you have the promises in us? Are you saved? Not do you think you are? Do you know you are? Do you know Jesus? Let's pray. Can I get the band back up? God, I just want to thank you for this word. I want to thank you for all your promises. I want to thank you that in every situation, regardless of what we might face or go through or what's going on in the world, your word speaks into whatever we might be going through, whatever time we might be going through it. And things are tough just now, and things are scary just now, and people are worried, and people are all over the place. But your word is the truth. And your word speaks into every single situation. And it certainly speaks into this one. So God, I want to thank you for speaking to us today. I want to thank you for speaking to me as a husband, as a father, as a pastor, as a business leader. I want to thank you for speaking to me and for encouraging me and for training me. And I certainly make that decision that I'm going to abide in you. I certainly, that's my decision. That's the route I'm going down. I'm going to abide. I'm going to dwell under your wings. I'm asking you for that. I'm going to obey. I'm going to follow you. God, I pray that would be the response of everyone in the room. I pray that would be the response of everyone listening online. For I don't know what condition people walked into this room in. I don't know what condition everyone listening online is in. But I know, beyond any doubt, I'm speaking to several people right now who do not dwell in you. I'll be speaking to some people right now who would not profess to be Christians. I will be speaking to some people just now who aren't Christian, who don't have this security of salvation. I'll also be speaking to many that have maybe been a Christian for years. But if they look into their heart and they're honest with themselves, they're not dwelling in the shelter of the Most High. And so God, right now as I pray, I'm just going to ask you to touch some hearts. I'm going to ask you to be working in the lives of people. I'm going to be asking you to do a work. As people know what I'm talking about, when I'm talking about fear, when I'm talking about terror, I'm talking about attacks that come against us, when I talk about lacks of peace and lacks of joy and lacks of hope and all of that stuff. God, right now I'm asking you to touch their hearts. Right now I pray that you put a courage and a bravery in their hearts that today they might respond to you. That today would be the day that their lives changed. That in amongst this disaster, in amongst all this stuff that's going on, they can have a hope, they can have a future, they can have eternity in paradise with you. God, touch people's hearts just now and give them the bravery to make that decision. I'm going to ask everyone to keep their eyes closed, keep their heads bowed. I want to give people some privacy. This Lord spoke, I believe, to a number of people, and I'm going to ask you to be brave this morning. I'm going to ask you to take this step this morning. If you are here today and you don't know Jesus, if you are here today, you've never asked Jesus into your life for help. If you're here today and you know that you believe in Jesus but you certainly don't dwell in Him, and you are hearing the promises of this passage and you believe they're for you, and by the way they are for you if you receive it. If that's you, I want you real quick to stick your hand up and pull it down again so I can see it. I'm going to pray for you. If you're listening online, send us a private message. I don't want anyone to miss this opportunity. I know God's going to be speaking to people this morning. If you know that you're not dwelling in the shelter of the Most High, but you're making a decision that from today forward you're going to do it, fire your hand up real quick and take it down again. And I'm just going to pray together. Is God speaking to him? You see your hand, pal? Brilliant. Sometimes it takes a real step of honesty to admit where we're at. I believe we need to be honest. See your hand. I believe we need to be honest before God. God, we have let you down. God, we've not been dwelling. We've not been doing all that we should be doing, but I want to. I'm going to make that commitment moving forward. Some people have been brave today. So many people who responded to Jesus for the first time and want to dwell in Him. Don't want anyone to miss this opportunity. Is there anyone else that wants to take that step to dwell in Jesus? I'm starting to do that. Brilliant. God, I just thank you for being here today. Thank you for changing lives today. And who knows what you're going to do online. God, I pray that as people have made this step today, this decision today, God, I pray that you would mightily change their life in powerful ways. That regardless of what happens with this situation, they would know your love, they would know your goodness, they would know the hope and the peace that can only be found in you. And God, I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. God's good, church, eh? God's good. That's what we're going to sing. We're going to sing one more hymn together. I can't send the offering baskets round because it means different people touching them. Alright? There's 2 baskets at the back, which if you want to put an offering in, You can either do so during this song, or you can do it on your way out, whatever you want to do. If you're a visitor with us today, we're just so blessed to have you. Please don't feel like you have to give anything. If this is our church home, and you want to give to the work of the church, then please do that. The baskets are on your way out. Let's stand together, church. place for us to be today than in your house. No better place for us to be than under your wings. No better place for us to be than standing as family worshiping you, knowing that we're safe, knowing that we're saved, knowing that we're covered. God, we're so very thankful for who you are.
We're so thankful for what you've given to us. And God, I just pray that you give us wisdom as a church and how to lead through this situation. God, would you give us real clarity and strategy as to how to move forward. God, we pray for our government. God, we pray that you would lead them. God, I pray that we see this nation call a national day of prayer. I pray that. I pray that people would turn to you. May God help us to make right decisions. Father, keep our families safe. Father, keep the people that we know safe. Keep us wise to all that's going on. But God, give us rest and peace and the assurance that we serve a God who is sovereign. We serve a God who is in control. And God, in finishing today, we just want to say that we trust you. We put our trust in you and in you alone. We pray all of this, God, in the mighty name of the King of Kings, Jesus Christ. Amen. 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 Church, great to see you. I can come if you want to be with us. That's good. So, again, all the best back. Stay for a cup of tea, cup of coffee. We'll put on the church app what's happening over the next week. We'll put on the church Facebook and all things what's happening. So keep in touch with where we're at. If you don't have the church app and you want to speak to one of the members of the church and you'll sort that out. And I don't know if I'm seeing you next week. Don't know if I'm seeing you again this side of summer. But I love you and I'll let you know what's happening. But there will be a sermon available next week, whether it be online or somewhere on these. Alright? Praise God. God bless.
Right, mate?